This isn't a bar, it's a living graveyard. Since 1821, this place hasn't served drinks, it's poured out the essence of the dead. Open the doors, and what will you see? Glasses floating mid-air, blackened hands pulling doors from the basement, and someone else standing behind you in the mirror. Room 204, the door that should never open. Hotel records say it's empty. Then why does the sound of a rope swinging echo from it at night? He smiles as he serves you a drink, but his eyes scream, "Don't look towards the basement at 3 a.m. He doesn't like being watched. Do you have the courage? Like, if you could spend one night here? Subscribe to uncover who really sits at the bar each night. Comment, "I accept the key" if you're ready to unlock room 204. Want even more terrifying places? Let us know in the comments below. Savannah, Georgia is known for its Spanish moss, southern charm, and restless spirits, but few places are as haunted or as hostile as the Moon River Brewing Company, a 200-year-old building where the dead refuse to rest. Built in 1821 as the City Hotel, the building quickly became a hotspot for violence. Gamblers, drunks, and outlaws filled its rooms, and more than a few men met their end in knife fights or bullet-riddled brawls. The most infamous spirit, James Stark, a rowdy patron who was shot dead in the bar. Some say his anger never faded, and now he takes it out on the living. Employees and visitors report glasses flying off shelves, chairs sliding across the floor, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. Some have even heard phantom shouts, and the sound of a gunshot echoes of Stark's final moments. One bartender working late swore he saw a shadowy figure sitting at the bar. When he approached, the stool kicked out on its own, as if someone invisible had just stood up angry. Not all spirits here are violent. A ghostly woman in a white dress has been seen on the stairs, her face twisted in sorrow. Legend says she was a traveler who died of illness in one of the rooms, her spirit forever trapped. Guests have felt an icy hand brush their shoulders near the second floor, her lonely attempt to reach out. The basement is the most active and most terrifying spot in the building. Workers refuse to go down alone after dark. Some have been pushed by unseen hands. Others hear whispers in the darkness. One tour guide swears something growled at him from the shadows, a sound no human could make. Moon River Brewing Company still operates as a bar and restaurant, but its ghosts are always present. Some come for the craft beer, others for the chance to meet the dead. But be warned, not all spirits here are friendly. Do you believe in ghosts? Because at Moon River, they definitely believe in you. If you thought the ghosts of Moon River Brewing Company were just echoes of the past, you're wrong. The longer the building stands, the stronger the hauntings grow. And some of Savannah's, the second floor, holds a room no one is allowed to enter overnight. Former employees whisper about room 204, where a traveling salesman hanged himself in the 1800s. Guests who've stayed nearby report muffled sobbing behind the walls and the sound of a rope creaking in the dead of night. One paranormal investigator swears his camera captured a shadow noose dangling from the ceiling before the lens cracked on its own. Not all spirits here are from the 19th century. In the 1990s, a bartender named Rick died in a motorcycle crash just blocks away. Weeks later, staff began noticing beer taps turning on by themselves and glasses sliding down the bar exactly how Rick used to serve drinks. Some regulars claimed to see a faded figure in an apron standing behind the counter before vanishing into thin air. The women's restroom has a reputation. Multiple guests have reported seeing a pale face with black eyes staring back at them in the mirror, only to turn and find no one there. Others have felt something breathing down their necks before the lights flicker wildly. A psychic who visited the brewery warned that the building sits on a thin veil between worlds, and something far older, far darker, lurks beneath it. In 2015, a ghost tour group witnessed something that still haunts them. As the guide recounted the bar's violent history, every chair in the dining area, a brazier, and staff says with a dangless vision of beer, "You're never alone here." Stay tuned for part 3, where we reveal the unsolved murder still tied to the building and the spirit that demands justice. Would you spend a night here? Let us know in the comments if you dare. Check out our full series on America's most haunted bars and the ghosts that refuse to leave. But beneath its lively surface, something ancient and angry is waking up. A Paranormal Devereaux was found slit ear to ear in room 207, a crime never solved. Some say it was revenge, others whisper it was something not human. Guests who've stayed near that room report blood dripping from the ceiling, only for it to vanish when touched. A paranormal team once recorded a voice growling, "Get out," seconds before their equipment died. But the most chilling detail, no records of Elias Devereaux exist, as if he was erased from history, or never human to begin with. Employees closing up alone have seen it, a tall, thin figure. One waitress locking up at 2 a.m. swears it stepped into the light, revealing a mouth stitched shut with black thread. She quit the next day. The basement ritual. During renovations in the 1980s, workers tore up the basement floor and found handprints burned into the stone. A local historian uncovered rumors of a secret occult meeting held there in the 1820s, a ritual to open the door to something older than Savannah itself. The night after the discovery, one worker was locked in the basement for hours, screaming about things crawling in the walls. When rescued, he was catatonic. He never spoke again. In 2023, a ghost hunter named Rachel spent the night alone inside Moon River. Her live stream showed footsteps in the dust where no one walked. Then, at 3:33 a.m., her camera captured a child's laughter before the feed cut to static. She was found unconscious at dawn, her notebook filled with one phrase scribbled over 100 times. "Do you still doubt?" Moon River Brewing Company isn't just haunted, is a beacon for the dead. Some spirits want peace, others want revenge. The first 3 chapters only scratch the surface. Now, the full horror of Savannah's most haunted brewery can finally be told. This isn't just a building haunted by ghosts, it's a living nightmare, and it's getting stronger. The 13th bottle. Attenders have long followed an unspoken rule: never leave 13 bottles on the back shelf. In 2018, a new hire ignored the warning. That night, security cameras captured black liquid oozing from the walls behind the bar. The next morning, all 13 bottles were shattered from the inside out, their contents boiled away. The employee quit that day, mumbling about the thing with too many teeth he saw in the basement mirror. The night the dead walked the bar. On October 31st, 2022, a packed Halloween crowd got more than they bargained for. Witnesses swear the temperature dropped 40 degrees in seconds as the scent of gunpowder and rotting meat filled the air. Then, the unthinkable. Glasses exploded in patrons' hands. A woman's hair was yanked upward by invisible fingers. A man's whiskey turned to thick, dark blood mid-sip. Security footage from that night shows shadowy figures materializing between the living, some in 1800s attire, others too distorted to be human. The brewery closed early. No refunds were given. The architect's secret. Recently uncovered blueprints reveal the building was never meant to be a hotel. The original 1821 plans label it as a containment house, a prison for something unspeakable. Local archives reference a Savannah sect, a group of clergymen and slave traders who performed a ritual to bind evil beneath the city. The door is closed, but it is hungry, and it remembers the newest victim. Last month, the video ends with something pounding from the other side. Mark was found 3 days later in nearby Bonaventure Cemetery, alive but hollow. His teeth had been replaced with rusty nails, and his pockets were filled with pre-Civil War era coins. He repeats one phrase. The first 4 warnings were just the beginning. Now the truth behind Savannah's most cursed building can no longer be contained. This isn't a ghost story anymore. This is an obituary. The Vanishing. On June 3, 2024, a group of 6 paranormal investigators entered Moon River after closing. They never came out. Security footage shows 12:47 a.m. The team's EMF readers spike off the charts. 1:15 a.m., their voices can be heard screaming in languages none of them spoke. 1:33 a.m., every light in the building flashes blood red. 2 a.m., the front door opens itself. No one walks out. The only clue, a single voice recorder left on the bar, containing 3 whispered words. It took them. The blood brand. Every former employee now bears a mark they can't explain, a black crescent moon tattoo that appears on their shoulder blade, always discovered after sleepwalking episodes. All report the same nightmare, standing behind the bar serving drinks to faceless men in rotting suits. The most terrifying detail? No 2 crescents are identical, as if each is a signature. The new owner. 2 weeks after the investigators disappeared, a reclusive billionaire named Elias Voss purchased Moon River. His first act, boarding up the basement with railroad ties and silver nails. Research reveals no records exist of Elias Voss before 2023. His signature matches a 19th century Savannah slave trader. Workers installing new plumbing reported hearing him arguing with someone named James in the walls. The invitation. Last Tuesday, every Savannah resident received a black envelope containing a vintage grand reopening invite for Moon River, a lock of human hair tied with barbed wire, the words, "Your table is ready," written in what forensic tests confirm is blood from at least 7 different people. The kicker, no mailing company delivered them. They simply appeared in homes. Warning, this update is being published against federal advisement. Read at your own risk. The black liquid outbreak. As of July 4, 2024, Savannah's water supply has been contaminated with an unknown viscous substance matching the demon blood previously reported at Moon River. 73% of downtown residents now report nightly visitations from the bartender. Description matches James Stark, pets. Refuse to enter homes where faucets run black for 13 seconds at 3:33 a.m. CDC investigators who drank the water. The mirror plague. Every reflective surface in a 5-mile radius now shows the packed house of corpses from Moon River's security footage, a slowly spreading black mold that forms the words, "Last call." Your own face aging rapidly each time you look away and back. Cell phone cameras now capture something standing behind you that wasn't there when you took the photo. The owner's confession. Before disappearing yesterday, Elias Voss left a 13-second voicemail with the Savannah Morning News. "We were wrong to bind them below. The 13th conclave was never meant to be." The garbled screaming. "The stairs are breathing. Wet, crunching sounds tell the living to prepare their..." The call ends with what linguists confirm is perfectly spoken Paleo-Hebrew, a language dead for 3,000 years. The new menu. Photographs taken through Moon River's boarded windows show tonight's specials. Brimstone sour, served in your grandfather's skull. Hanged man's stout, changes flavor based on your sins. The Savannah 6, shots that kill you 6 different ways. Patrons report being compelled to order even after fleeing the state. Your next steps. Cover all mirrors with black cloth. They're watching through them now. Stop drinking all liquids. The contamination spreads through tears. If you hear glasses clinking in your empty kitchen, say, "I'm closed," and light a match. Moon River isn't a place anymore. This post will delete itself in 13 hours. The author's last words were, "The basement door was never locked from our side." To whoever finds this message, Moon River Brewing Company was never just a building. It was a mouth, a trap, a living wound in the fabric of Savannah. They told you it was ghosts. They lied. Ghosts can be laid to rest. What lives beneath those floorboards, in those mirrors, in that black water now bubbling up through the city's foundations, is something far older, something that remembers when this land was nothing but swamp and sacrificial fires. What you need to know now. The hauntings were just symptoms. The building was always a conduit, growing stronger with every story told, every ghost tour given, every curious visitor who stepped inside. Elias Voss wasn't the owner. He was the sacrifice. The thing wearing his skin just needed legal paperwork to remove the last protections. Your nightmares aren't dreams, they're invitations. That's why you wake up tasting copper, why your sheets smell like bourbon and grave dirt. The final warning. It's too late for Savannah. The 13th conclave is already reformed, not as men but as something hungrier. If you're reading this, leave the south, head northwest, and don't stop until you forget the word Savannah. Burn any photos taken near Moon River. You'll notice the shadows are facing the wrong way. When you hear jazz music from an empty room, hold your breath for 13 seconds. It passes over those who don't breathe. A last toast. Raise whatever's in your hand right now. Whiskey, water, it doesn't matter anymore. Pay to the brave fools who walked into Moon River, to the liars who said it was just stories, to whatever's left of us after tonight. Now, smash the glass. Never speak of this again. This document will self-delete in 13 seconds. The author's final note reads only, "The door is open. I'm going to close it. Goodbye, and good luck. You'll need it."